Hello, this is Dave Sugarbaker, and today is the 11th day of January 2026. And I have a very short reading from Ecclesiastes here to get us started. For everything there is a season and a time for every purpose under heaven, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted. My number 2 son told me recently about his dream vacation. He wants to go on a tour of theme parks in the eastern United States to ride as many roller coasters as he can. His goal is to ride 100 different coasters. He's ridden well over 50 coasters at this point. My boys got me involved in roller coasters years ago. They love them. I have never seen either of them as loose or relaxed as they are when they get off a roller coaster ride. When I was growing up, I didn't ride roller coasters. I could hear the riders screaming as they rode, and I decided I didn't want to subject myself to that kind of torture. But the boys changed my mind. And the last coaster that I rode with the boys was in the early 2000s. We were at Disneyland in California. There was a new coaster called California Screamin'. It was based on maglev technology, and it was a state-of-the-art coaster at the time. Most coasters start out with a slow climb up a 250 to 400 foot initial hump, and then as you come over the top, then you begin to start down, and then you gain all your speed right then. California Screamin' wasn't like that. It was different. It went from a dead stop to close to 60 miles an hour in the first 4 seconds of the ride. I survived the ride, and I actually enjoyed it, but it was my last roller coaster. Since that ride, I've decided that I'm not going to do that again. Not because I am getting too old, but maybe it is because I'm getting too old. I don't know. What is it about roller coasters that's so addictive, though? I think it's playing with danger in a way that ultimately keeps us safe. All of the death-defying twists and turns, the sudden stops, the sudden drops, the moments of weightlessness, and the ride's loops are all engineered to be safe. I didn't realize it, but there are engineering firms that specialize in designing and building new, thrilling roller coasters. And we, the consumers, have the illusion that we're flirting with death and destruction when we ride one of these coasters. But in truth, we're buying a fantasy. It's an illusion. Surviving the ride is assured. We're in no real danger, but we'd like to think that we are. If we wanted to really flirt with death, we could become test pilots or astronauts or NASCAR drivers. Now, then we would be really living on the edge. Robert Frost talks about being on the edge when he wrote about swinging birch trees. So was I once myself a swinger of birches, and so I dream of going back to be. It's when I'm weary of considerations and life is too much like a pathless wood where your face burns and tickles with the cobwebs broken across it, and one eye is weeping from a twig's having lashed across it open. I'd like to get away from earth a while and then come back to it and begin over. May no fate willfully misunderstand me and half grant my wish and snatch me away never to return. Earth's the right place for love. I don't know where it's likely to go better. I'd like to go, Frost says, by climbing a birch tree and climb black branches up a snow-white trunk toward heaven, till the tree could bear no more, but dipped its top and set me down again. That would be good both going and coming back. One could do worse than be a swinger of birches. Now, I understand scholars differ on the true meaning and origin of ring around the rosy, pocket full of posies, ashes, ashes, we all fall down. When we teach this simple rhyme to toddlers, the we all fall down part is accompanied by much hilarity and glee. Some say this child's rhyme and circle game goes back to the Black Plague of the 1500s. If it does, the lyrics describe first the rosy rash as a symptom of bubonic plague. A pocket full of posies was a popular strategy to avoid contamination, since it was believed that noxious smells were the carrier of disease. And therefore, you carried something fragrant to ward off the bad smells. Ashes, ashes. From what I understand, both the bodies of plague victims and their houses were burned. Plenty of ashes. And finally, we all fall down. Everybody dies. It's the human condition. Not just those who catch the plague, but all human beings fall down. That's the dark side of a little children's rhyme. Would it have helped the children to cope better with the devastation of the plague? I don't know. But it may be another way we use play to incorporate the reality of human mortality. So we may scream on the roller coaster, or we may imagine being a swinger of birches, or we may, excuse me, we may laugh with the toddlers when we all fall down. These may be ways we try to come to terms with mortality. After all, we know we're not going to avoid our ultimate end. Father Teilhard de Chardin was a 20th century French Catholic theologian, and he has another suggestion for us. He says, "We struggle against death with all our force, for it is our fundamental duty as living creatures to do so. But when, by virtue of the state of things, death comes, we experience that paradox of faith that causes us to abandon the struggle and embrace death as part of the plan for the universe as a whole. To love life so much and to trust it so completely that we can affirm it, even in its final act. This is an attitude which can calm and fortify us. The end is to love extravagantly the life that is greater than any one of us, seeing our own death as a physically necessary passage toward a union with a greater wholeness." That's a pretty tall order. Can we love extravagantly the life that is greater than any one of us, seeing our own death as a physically necessary passage toward a union with a greater wholeness? It may be a perspective that we grow into, realizing that at times we're still going to scream as the roller coaster hurtles forward. Thank you for listening. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this. And if you find value here, I'd appreciate it if you'd pass it along. Stay safe. We're having weather in Kentucky that varies by the half hour, it seems, between freezing weather and 70 degrees. But in any case, take care of yourself. I'll see you soon.